Nice.
Love. And yeah, you guys are please pop in your guys' LinkedIn. I would love for you guys to connect with one another. We'll be popping in. We have a Slack channel for all of our learners and for all of you guys to kind of get to know each other as well. We'll be popping in some new events and stuff in there. So we're gonna, without further ado, who here has been to one of our Hubble calls as well? This is what I love always knowing. Put in a one if you've been to a Hubble call. Put a two in if you have never been to a Hubble call. Danielle, welcome. Umang, welcome.
Thanks.
Oh,
Hello.
okay. So many new people. So welcome you guys. So I'm so excited to just introduce you guys to Hubble in a second. We're just a mentorship platform in a marketplace connecting founders, especially first-time founders, to experts who've been there, done that. So people like Lizzie, people like Kevin, people like Kat, our head of marketing, and myself, who've been through the ringer. We have Ethan, we have Joyce, we have a few of our experts on the platform or on the call right now. Say hello, you guys. And it's just a way to, again, learn from someone who's been there and done that. And especially when there's so many podcasts, so many books coming out, there's all this information. Nothing beats having a one-on-one conversation with someone who has been through it. And, always say every athlete has a coach. I firmly believe that every founder should have a coach and someone in their corner. And so that's why I'm really excited to be doing this and for all of you guys to be here. I'm Sasha, I'm head of community. We have Kevin, who is our CEO and co-founder, and Lizzie, who's one of our experts. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, and we're going to get crack-a-lackin' right into this conversation. Oh, Trillion Dollar Coach, great book. Great book.
Sure.
You
Oh
know it.
gosh,
You know
I'm a
it.
coach. I'm a coach and I haven't even read that.
That's like the iconic book. I've like listened to it so many times on the treadmill. Anyways, Lizzie, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Good. Clearly, I have some reading to do. Hi, everyone. I'm Lizzie Azzolino. You're going to see my dog running around in the background, Barkley. He's going to be good entertainment. I'm an expert on Hubble, and if I had to call myself an expert on something, although that seems kind of wild, it's on identity. I spent the first half of my career helping brands build their identity. I think specifically brands that were creating entirely new categories. And in that process, I started to realize I never really turned that question inward and decided, I followed my intuition and decided for the last decade to really focus my career on identity, specifically in these moments of inflection when we are on the precipice of something new and we don't know who we are yet in that vision. So I work with people very much in inflection points, whether founders, whether it's someone in a job within a corporation and they're asking themselves these questions, just any moment of kind of identity level transition. So based in Santa Monica, happy to be with you all. I had cold brew today, so I have a lot of energy.
Love a good cold brew. One
Yeah.
thing London still has yet to make really good is really good cold brew.
Mm, mm. We gotcha in LA. Yeah.
I know, gotta come over. Kevin, I'm gonna pass it over to you. To you.
So excited to be here. Started my first company. I'm the founder and the CEO of Hubble, co-founder. I started my first company. It's kind of crazy to say this. It's almost been 10 years now. And I'll never forget. I was in wealth management. I was working in finance. I wasn't happy. And it was the classic. I had this realization one day. I'm like, I don't want to be an 80-year-old rock man in a rocking chair, looking back on my life and just being like, I was just a banker and I wore a suit every day. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But if you have like a dream or you have something in your heart that you want to chase or something that you want to launch, I didn't want to live with that regret. I think it's a beautiful time to start a company. Like our parents' generation, a lot of them stayed in the same jobs because they had to. We have options. And with those options come responsibility. But like when we have options, let's not be afraid to chase our dreams. Let's not be afraid to go for it. And I remember when I moved to San Francisco, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I had no idea the company I wanted to start. I had no idea about anything. I just had like a lot of optimism of like, I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna, I had no idea how challenging it was gonna be, but I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. And I think one of the things I'm excited to like kick off this hour together. And I loved just seeing like all the founders as you guys were typing in the chat. the way I got my founder education, besides like making millions of mistakes, which I continue to make every day, was listening to other founders tell their stories and realize, hey, not all these people have it figured out. A lot of the problems I'm struggling with, other people struggled with. Pivoting your company into something completely new is not a failure. A lot of successful companies do this. And there's something powerful about listening to other founders because it humanizes it and it makes you feel like you're not alone. And you realize, damn, we're all out here just trying to figure it out, doing the best that we can. So excited to see you all, answer some of these questions, and yeah, talk for the next hour.
I'm so excited for this. I think we want to start off. I had like a question, so I kind of wanted to start off with like a two-part question. And the first one is, especially with right now, everyone, we're all going to a lot of in-person events. Raise your hand or like pop a one in the chat if you're starting to go to a lot more in-person events, right? There's a lot more things kind of happening right now. Been loving it in London, lots of in-person, it's coming back. The dreaded question of what do you do has been coming up a lot. And in your journey, how has that evolved? And how do you see what you do now? And how do you even answer that question anymore? Lizzie, I'm popping that to you, babe.
Yeah, it's a great question. I am finding myself, so I stepped out of my corporate job about 10 years ago. And I remember I had this amazing title. I was like head of strategy at this very well-known design and innovation studio that I was very proud of. But when I decided to leave my job through a series of like pretty challenging events, I found myself being asked that question for the first time and feeling naked. Like I wanted to hide, I wanted to put a bag over my head, and I didn't have these career labels to hide behind. And the way that I started to answer that question, and I found a lot of energy around, was talking about what it was I was committed to learning, what it was I was experimenting around. My answer to that question for myself back at that time was I am trying to learn who I really am. I am learning as much as possible about who I am. I'm taking every course imaginable. I'm reading every book imaginable about how we come to learn and know who we really are. And that sparked some pretty amazing conversations because, as it turns out, a lot of people were asking that question. And so I started to feel so much energy and so much support and so much creativity just in this space of learning and sharing really vulnerably the things that I did not know. So yeah, I think that's what comes up for me is really talking about, rather than define myself by a title or even my past experience, define myself around this moment and what it is I am learning and the questions I'm asking myself.
I love that.
That's a great answer. I used to, if I could just jump in, I used to hate this question.
Mm.
I remembered every time we would go like a group dinner and then people would start like popping around. What do you do for work? And everyone would be talking. I'm like, damn, just counting down the people of when it came to me. Because also, like to Lizzie's point, like prior to founding a company, the years before that, I was playing in the NFL. I was so proud to say this. Not that I would like just brag about it, but if someone asked me and I said it, they're like, oh, wow, it's incredible. And that feels good. And then I was like, this banker getting paid a lot of money at this big company that everybody knew. So that was like, that was acceptable, or that was like, that was cool. Right. And now it's like, oh, I'm starting this company. And I think the hard thing early on is with a lot of early stage founders, we don't even really know exactly like what our product is doing or what it's going to become. And if I could just go back to that younger version of Kevin, I would say, man, I'm so proud of you for leaving all this behind and just talk about that dream or like talk about that vision of what you're trying to solve. Don't get into the specifics of your product features and here, download my app or like, because a lot of those things are going to change and maybe they're not ready and maybe you're not proud of it, or maybe it's not ready to be seen on the big stage. But Lizzie, you even touched on this. Just get back to like, talk about that dream. And I think one thing just to encourage everybody, you know how much respect people are going to have for you for like leaving the steady paycheck. And I always say, leaving the safety of the shore and chasing a dream. It's almost like hearing somebody get up on stage and like crush a karaoke song, at a karaoke bar. It doesn't even matter if they're that good. Everyone respects them. Everyone's like, dude, good for this person. You had the respect to do it. So just talk about that dream. Don't get so caught up in how perfect your product is right now or how great it's going to even be. Just say, hey, maybe I left this job and this is what I'm deciding to chase. And I'm excited to see what happens, and you should be proud of this. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're not going to raise a bunch of venture right away. You're not going to have a big team. No one's going to know your product. You have to be the first true believer that one day this thing is going to be successful. And that's a vulnerable place to be, because when you work at a big company, everybody knows it. And now all of a sudden it's different. But if you get asked this question, just know you're not alone in feeling this way. A lot of other people have been uncomfortable in social situations, when that question comes up.
I
Yeah.
love that. I think right now it's with so many of these yeah, Lizzie, I'm gonna let you finish that thought. I know you have something.
Oh, sure. Well, I also want to say that so many people, the people that you actually want to talk to, are people who will recognize the bravery that
Mhm.
it takes to follow a dream. And the people who don't, you just they're not your people. So who you are in your story is not going to resonate with everyone. And it's not your job to make yourself resonate with everyone. Good learning around storytelling and sort of who you're here for and who you're not. And I think the thing is like our story and what it is we're here to create in our dream is not going to be for everyone. So that I think that's just something important to acknowledge as well.
Yeah. I was gonna kind of touch on that as well around like when you do leave the shore and when you do decide to do something that's different, right? There's that moment of void. And this is what my mentors always called. She was like, it's just like that stickiness, it's that void, it's that process of becoming, it's the chrysalis if you're a butterfly. And the process of becoming a butterfly, for people who don't know, is the butterfly, like the caterpillar has to actually dissolve and then it gets rebuilt. So the whole process of that is actually quite painful. But then it comes out into something beautiful. When you
Mhm.
were in that moment of the chrysalis of like this void, and when you're still in it, what are some of like the practical things that you do and how you kind of, I guess, latch onto this identity of who you want to become versus who you were before and allowing that part of you to dissolve and you stepping into this new version, this new identity? What are some of the conversations and the internal dialogue that you're having and how have you anchored into that?
Can I jump in really quick? One
Yeah.
thing that's helped me is I always say this to myself, to my team all the time, like, hey, good things take time, right? You're going to be a founder now. Do you think you're going to be a great founder day one? You're not. It's like if you stepped into a karate studio, you literally wear a white belt so everybody knows this person is a beginner. I play a lot of chess. When you first
Mhm.
get on chess.com, your elo is like 1200, which is your ranking. You get crushed for like your first 30 matches, your elo drops all the way down, and then you start to work your way up, right? So just always tell yourself, just in that moment, like, good things take time. You can't be afraid to be a beginner again. Anybody who is great, go look at your favorite podcast that you listen to. Go look at their very, very first episode and listen to it. Like, the sound sucks. They don't have a good setup. Like, it's definitely not in person. They don't have microphones. They're using like laptop computers. There's no lighting. Like, that cool, snazzy, like intro music is not even there. They're just like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Like, and this is how every great thing started, right? So why would it be any different for this journey that you're about? Why would it be any different? It's not.
Mm-hmm. Something 100%. Maybe from a this is both practical, but then also like a little bit mystical, both from a practical and mystical perspective. Anytime that I'm in an identity transition, in a career transition, or in a company making a transition, I create two lists, take a piece of paper and put one list on one side and the other list on the other side. And the first one says me, and the second side says not me. And all of the things, all of the beliefs, all of the stories, all of the ways that you use to talk about yourself, even like people, relationships, ideas that make you feel heavy, that feel misaligned to who you are, list them and then notice the things and the way you talk about yourself and the people and the activities and the mindsets that give you energy and that help you move towards your dream. Put those in the me list and really start to notice how every single day you can spend more time focusing on the me list and doing work to let go of the things that are on the not me list. And that's really a way to actually sort of visualize the transition that you're making. And so much of this is around um, moving towards the things that give you energy and moving towards the things that I think bring you alive and have you feel more creative and more inspired.
How do you, something else is also like a personal, like a selfish question, is how do you lean into the beginner and the suck? Right. I think as Kevin, as you said, like it's so easy to then go and like see all these incredible podcasters, these incredible content creators, these incredible writers, and just kind of see, yeah, you see the chapter 50
Yeah.
and you're on like chapter one or even like the introduction or like the pre-introduction, the prelude. And it's so easy to want to be there, but then also know that you are not there. And what are some of like how are some of the things that people can do to kind of allow that? And just like leaning into the suck when you want to be way further than you may be.
Number one, that feeling is always going to be there. Like nobody ever wants to go through the suck. I call this the time in the desert as a
Mm-hmm.
founder. No one wants to go through the time in the desert. The time in the desert when you launch something and it's like not working and you don't even know where you're going. Is there an oasis over there? No, that was a mirage. Like, am I going to die? Like, I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. This sucks. Everybody sort of has to go through that. Something that I did, and I think this is so powerful. So I just put this in the chat how I built this. Has anybody listened to this podcast by Guy Raz?
I think that's like one episode.
So we got some head shakers, yes and no. We got Haley is
Pop your
clapping.
favorite episode of that podcast if you have one, because I think we'll put this in the email afterwards and the book. Oh, there's a book too.
Yeah, there is a book. I ordered that. I never read it, but yes, there's a book. Um, I have this in my bookshelf right over here, actually, but I have not opened it. Um, okay, so why am I bringing this up? It's because you can basically search any brand that you love, like Patagonia, Five Guys Burgers. I mean, anything under the sun. He's done hundreds and hundreds of episodes with the founders of these companies, and his lines of questioning just get so raw and real from the very beginning. And if you mentally are like, hey, I want to skip this step of sucking, that's not reality. You have to go through this period. This is what everybody has to go through to be great at anything. And the more you listen to this podcast and other relevant brands that you look up to and you respect, you're quickly going to realize, damn, everyone's got to go through this, you know? And I think that that's very important. It's very important to just know if I'm choosing to be a founder, it's not going to be easy. This is not supposed to be an elevator to success. It is never those things. And to get back to your question, Sasha, on timelines, I'm a huge proponent. I got off of Instagram because I think deep down, like it's so easy for us as humans to look at someone else's timeline and where they are in life and then not even hating on them, just being like, damn, I know what I bring to the table. I should be so much further ahead than maybe I am, or this other person, maybe even. And everybody's timeline, everybody is on different timelines. Just there's enough success in the world to go around. I promise you. Focus on your own timeline. And if you need a little inspiration, check out that podcast and realize, damn, everybody went through this period, even the most iconic companies and founders.
Yeah, it's such a good point. I think I'll lean in a little bit to timelines. If you zoom out as well and look at the timeline of the whole of your life, Like, let's pretend you're at the end of your life. And you even look back, you will look back at this moment of being in something for the first time as one of the most important moments of experiencing the full spectrum of what it means to be alive. I find myself like, every single day, if there's not something that I'm thinking, I'm doing this for the first time, then it wasn't a good day. Because I feel like the more we can try things for the first time and have entirely new experiences, the more we're really living. And really appreciating as well, Kevin, the highlight of the podcast that you mentioned. Talk to as many people in this moment as possible. Talk to as many people who have been here as possible. And um, it's yeah, it's just like being in a phase of experimentation is really, I think, why we're here to create new things and do things that have never been done.
As you were talking about timelines, it reminded me of this image. I posted
Mm,
it in the chat. Like a lot of times our days look like this, right? And they're super chaotic. And then over time, if you look back on your years, like Sasha even said, 4 years ago, she made this plunge to go all in. And I guarantee if Sasha was being honest and be like, hey, how's it every single day? She may be like, damn, there's like so many things going on. And like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure it out. I feel the same way. But if you look back on your life in this photo, it's like over the years, we've actually progressed a lot. We just see ourselves every single day. But if you go back to somebody, even for me, like I've been a founder almost a decade now, man, I didn't know anything back then, and I'm still learning, but over time we get better and better and better. And it's a beautiful thing. It takes time and it's slow.
I'm looking at David's comment too. He said the pain of learning or the pain of stagnating. I can think of so many times in my life where I have been somewhere that I did not want to be, and I felt like I am so stuck and I am so in it. And just I stayed there because I was scared to leave because I didn't want to make that leap. But once you choose to make that leap, then you're in it. And you're like, I'm in this. I made the leap. I have no other choice. But it's like the life that we want to live is just waiting in our stagnation, essentially.
that is so beautiful. I think like on this line, I think right now there's a lot of these moments. I think they're becoming more visible because of social media and because we're seeing more and more of this. I think people are a lot more open about it, of these like pivots and kind of starting over. And I think there's a big fear in starting over. There's a big fear in, again, being a beginner. And I would love to know for both of you guys that moment where, and it could be a small thing or a big thing, of like when you actually had to fully start over, and what were those emotions and feelings that you had to kind of work through. And again, kind of what you were saying before, that like no list and that yes list of really renegotiating who you were and being okay with just like starting fresh.
Mm. Kevin, what's coming up for you?
I have a story,
Story
and
time.
it could be kind of long, but I'll try not to be long. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys the story. I don't know if I've ever actually said this. I'm going to tell you guys the story about the day we decided to create Hubble and pivot to this company. And I'm going to go through the beginning things as fast as possible because I don't want to take up too much time. And I'm trying to talk at double speed. So I was the CEO of another company. I was 4 years in, and I'm like, this is so difficult. Anybody can launch a company, but like launching a successful company that people pay for and they tell their friends about and they come back to is like dramatically different than just launching a company. So I start writing on LinkedIn because out of this empathy of I got to help other founders because this career path is way more challenging than I ever could have imagined. And more people are doing it. And I'm a little bit crazy with the amount of grit that I have, and maybe at times to a fault. But like, I just want to encourage and inspire other founders. So I start writing on LinkedIn. My following starts getting big. I start doing these sort of one-off Hubble calls because people would DM me and say, hey, thank you for this post. Can we get on a 15-minute call and can you like help me with my pre-seed raise? So I was doing this for like 14 months as my following gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And my girlfriend at the time was like, hey, you need to start charging for this. Like, I see you on these calls. I know the impact that you're having. Like, this can't be free forever. Plus, your own startup is failing, because if a startup isn't growing early on, it's failing. And she was right, but I didn't want to admit it in the beginning. And eventually, though, I kind of got to the place where I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this paid call thing. So I'm running these paid calls, and I was actually using a competitor that was recruiting me to go onto their platform. And as I'm using it, I'm just like, when you truly care about something or a space, you are going to see so many more things that the current product could improve on. The average person is just going to say, oh, yeah, it works. If you truly care about the space, there's going to be 20 things day one you're going to make better. So this was in the back of my mind. Now, the company that I started was 5 years now at this point in the making. 5 years is a long time to not have true product market fit. Like, if you're still working on your company after 5 years, kudos to you, but like, you better come up with some good ideas quickly or listen to some customers and make some hard pivots, because that's a long ass time. Ethan giving me the thumbs up. I was just looking at him as I was talking to him. So we had this big product launch, and this big product launch was like every great idea that we had. And we didn't ship anything for like 3 months as we got ready for this big product launch with the last company. And the vibe, without saying it, was this is all of our best ideas. If this doesn't work, I think we're all out of bullets on this one. So this product launch happens. It kind of flops. I had like a tequila at lunchtime. I'm like driving home. It was only one tequila. And one of my early investors calls me, and he's like, hey, remember that booking link thing you told me about a couple of weeks ago? How's that going? And I'm like, I actually love it. It's great. I'm getting calls booked. I'm helping people. It's fulfilling. Like, I'm making a difference. He goes, are you home right now? And I pull into my driveway. And the only way that I can explain this moment is this: if you've ever seen Limitless with Bradley Cooper, the movie, where he takes these pills and they basically make him limitless. I pull into my driveway, I open up my laptop, and it was just like, zzz. Literally, I saw the first version of what would be an expert profile on. We didn't have a name for the company. The expert profile actually wasn't very good. It was very ugly designed, but it was a tidal wave in that moment of 7 years as a founder and going through all the stuff that I went through and never even thinking about pivoting in this direction, and then just starting to help people for free and then doing it paid. The amount, that wave that I felt, the go to market was so crystal clear. The current number one customer, or the current number one competitor in the market, I was using them for 7 months. I knew we were going to be better than them. I knew what we were going to focus on. I had 150,000 followers, and I knew like right away I have 500 incredible experts we're going to launch with. Like, all this stuff hit me like in 5 seconds. And 2 days later, I told all my investors, this is the new direction we're going to go. And I picked up the phone. I called every single one of them. This was not easy, because I'm like, what are they going to say to me? They invested in this other thing that has nothing to do with this. Are they going to write me off? Almost every single one of them added more money, because they said, this is such a better opportunity for you. You're going to make money right away. When we hear about founder market fit, they saw me active on LinkedIn. This was it. Then I told my whole team. And the beautiful part about that is, if you've been working on something for a while and it's not going well, the morale of your team is going to decrease. And when you have this new idea or this new vision, it's you as the leader, it's such a great opportunity to reset the bar and the standards and say, hey, if you want to leave, I get it. But if you're coming on, this is the expectations. So everybody only one person left. 2 days later, we started working on Hubble. That investor that was in my last company, his name's Timo. He became my co-founder. And 3 months later, we launched Hubble. And that was about a year ago. So crazy long story, but that was the last sort of like major pivot moment in my life. And it was a beautiful one.
What were some of the fears that were like calling those investors and Yeah, I guess like the classic story, the classic questions of like, what were the fears that were keeping you up at night when you were pivoting? But then also, what was that conviction around the founder market fit that you knew that this was going to work?
It was because I was living it. Like I
Hmm.
had literally lived it for years. And I literally was a founder that was struggling for 5 years. Like I had no doubt that there was millions of us out there that needed help. I had the expert network of people that I knew like would show up, and I say this all the time. They show up with soul. They want to help people. They want to help founders. They want to help them be successful. They're not just doing it for a paycheck. So I knew that both sides of the marketplace were going to be solid. I also knew the number one competitor in the space. I knew how we were going to beat them. I love it. I'm reading Danny's thing as I'm talking. The amount of conviction that I had was so off of the charts, but there still was fear in calling those investors. And what I would just encourage every founder to do, if you're raising money, if it's an important decision, never text anybody. Do not write this stuff in emails. Get on calls with people when it's a tough conversation, look them in the eye and be honest. And I didn't know if any of those investors were going to literally say, this is the stupidest idea ever. Like, I didn't invest in this. I'm disappointed. And every single one of them was the opposite. And I would venture to say is because of how excited I was in that moment and how clear I was and the amount of conviction that I had. And it wasn't fabricated. It was because I had lived it for the last 7 years of my life, you know?
Yeah. The thing that's coming up for me, Kevin, when you say that is that people invest in or they buy your energy. Like they feel this magnetic connection. It's just so resonant. Because it's true. And so it's like they're wrapped up into your dream with you. And the other thing that's just coming up as I hear your story is the way that I found myself in this place as well, while it was not my plan, was really trying to solve my own problem. Like really trying to solve something that was really painful for me around like, who am I really? And my own journey to answer that question then became the thing that everyone started to ask me to do. And it took me a while to even register, wait, this thing that I'm doing for myself is a thing that I can help other people with,
Hmm.
but actually quite similar. And now it's been, I've worked with sort of thousands of people in this space. And I think the thing that I will name is this moment of starting over and feeling like you don't really know who you are, you don't really know what you're doing. That just sort of like liminal space that we find ourselves in, it will happen again. Like you'll come out of it and you'll be like, okay, I'm done. Like now everything is going to be smooth sailing, but it will happen again because it's a little bit of a cycle. And so the more you can start to just like become aware of the fact that, oh, this cycle feels familiar. It's not easier, but you're more resourced. And so really just start to notice that. I've probably had four of these now in my journey in my career. And actually, each one of them gets a bit harder because I feel like I should know better. Uh,
Mm.
but it just doesn't really work that way. It's a little bit like a spiral. So I think that's worth acknowledging too.
How have you given yourself the self-compassion during those moments of like, I should know better because, I'm either older, I've had more experience. How do you kind of give yourself more compassion during those times?
Hmm. It is probably something that I've only just started to learn how to do.
Mm.
I think one of the things that I have learned the hard way is feeling like in these moments of stuckness or pain or chaos or not knowing that I need to figure this out on my own. Because I am someone who has been the person to help so many other people through their challenging scenarios. I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect for me sometimes around, oh, wait, I also need support.
Yeah.
And so I think this last moment, I really learned to lean into support. And never will I do this on my own again. Because I think in these moments of really recognizing that we need support and we can't do it on our own, we learn so much more about who we are and what it is we can create.
Oh, I want to take a pause for everyone. I think that is such a beautiful thing. I think I just want to, yeah, invite everyone just to like actually soak that in. I think self-compassion is one of the hardest things to give, and like grace is one of the hardest things to give as a founder and just like as a human being. There's so much of that pressure and the thing to strive, especially in, I think this culture right now of like, I have to, it's almost like there's no excuses to not be excellent. But in
Mm.
doing so, we just we can't do it. Like we just burn out. And I don't even think like burnout as in like a burnout, but it's just kind of that like that malfunction. And I want to ask like two more questions. I do want to leave actually quite a bit of time for questions for everyone else. I think this is a really important thing for everyone to have some time with both of you. There's like two things to pull on that thread of how do you still lead, especially when you are like, let's say, a founder in a company and you are going through these transitions. How do you still lead while also still figuring things out and feeling in integrity with not knowing all the answers, like you said, especially I think in the coaching industry, especially, when you're kind of like you're figuring it out, but then you also are helping other people. Same thing as a founder when you are leading a team and helping them grow, but then also like you're needing to grow and needing and you're being stretched. So Lizzie, I'm gonna let you take this one away first. Is how do you lead while still figuring it out and giving yourself the grace and the compassion to do so and the communication to everyone else even.
Yeah. So I guess what's coming up for me around the way to answer this is it's so often that when we're leading something, I think especially as a founder, we can feel a little bit like it's a solo act. Like we need to be ahead, we need to lead and everyone else, and we need to set the vision and set the tone for everyone else. And it can feel isolating and lonely, right? And while it is true that we need to set the tone for everyone else and have a vision and create a sense of direction, there's a real difference between doing it from here with the rest of your team here or from doing it here with the rest of your team here. Like basically what I'm trying to show is like the more you can lead from alongside people and the more you can sort of come together and bring everyone else into leadership, the better. I think that to me, being a leader means having so much conviction and so much humility. If you just have conviction and no humility, very soon you will be humbled because we no one knows what they're doing. No one knows where they're going exactly. We're all figuring this out as we go. And so I think really leading from alongside and sharing with your team the truth of what it is you don't know. Obviously, there are some like boundaries around this that we need to create in order for people to stay enrolled. But the more honest you can be, the better. And the more you can bring people along in the process, the better. This is where we've been. This is what we don't know right now. These are some thoughts I have. What ideas do you have? What am I not seeing? What are we not seeing? The more that you can learn to essentially lead your company as a coach, I think the better.
Beautiful answer. That last part I was going to touch on, like just being honest and transparent, like you as the leader, one thing that I would suggest all leaders do is invest in always learning in your domain. So if you want everyone else on your team to always be learning and growing, you need to lead by example by doing this. I think that is super key. I think all leaders need to be okay with taking the blame and dishing out all of the credit. Whether you work on something or somebody else in your team does, it does not matter about you. Always be highlighting your team. One thing that I do, I've never said this, I have something in my calendar. Sasha and Kat, you guys may laugh. On Wednesdays, I think it's on Wednesdays. It's like this, it's 2 days a week. There's like this little appreciation reminder. And essentially then twice a week, I get that little ding by Google and it's calling out somebody on our team that's done something amazing, right?
That's what that is.
No, you don't know that. You don't know that that was scheduled. I do a good job. But it's like this idea of just giving out the praise, taking the criticism when you can, leading with honesty. I think there's an epidemic with founders. And why are so many founders and in people in tech, why do we have imposter syndrome?
Mhm.
My sort of belief into why is because people think there have to be the smartest people in the room. They have to have it all figured out. They can't ask questions. And then everyone sits up real uptight thinking like, oh, I might be stupid if I ask this question. And so as the leader, create an environment where, hey, sometimes you don't know the answer and it's great to ask questions and let's get to the bottom of this. And it's basically this like safe zone where other people that work for the company also feel, hey, if Kevin is asking these questions and he doesn't know, then it's okay and safe for me also to ask questions and to not know. Because if nobody's asking questions, I promise you, there's a lot of people that don't know what to do or what they should be doing. And you as a leader probably haven't created that safe enough environment for people to like lean into that. Um, but yeah, that's what I would say. Just be honest. People appreciate transparency and realness over polish and perfect every time.
I think that was so 2016, and even I can attest, like, so I had a call with Timo talking about like data and kind of understanding what questions to ask, like in engineering and like meeting more engineers and meeting more technical people. Of like, sometimes you don't even know what questions to ask. It's like, ask questions, but it's like, sometimes you don't even know what you don't know. And you don't know what questions to ask. So being like, hey, what questions should I be asking? What questions should I be looking into? What are some of the things that I should know and that I should look into? And it's such an interesting thing of even asking the person, like, what question should I be asking you? To understand like what, yeah, just to understand more like the role or this concept or this theory or like how Claude code works, all the
Yeah,
good things.
this is a great point. And like, if the founders here, if you guys are tech founders but non-technical, like, do not think that, oh, I don't write code, therefore I can't be a great founder. There's so many non-technical founders in the world. Steve Jobs comes to mind as maybe one of the best. I'm not technical. I don't say most, a good amount of Silicon Valley founders are not technical. They don't write code. They're not supposed to know what engineers are talking about. They're not supposed to know everything. And what Sasha just brought up, ask questions. Why are we using this for our backend? What other solutions are out there? Why is this better than this other thing? Tell me how GitHub works. What's a repo? Like, just the most basic of things. Just ask. And over time, what ends up happening is you just get smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. And then you can kind of talk with another engineer and then feel like, oh, even though he's non-technical, like he knows the basics. And that's all you need to know. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna write. Well, I don't know about never, but I have no intention on ever actually getting with our engineers and writing code with any of them ever, because there's other things that I need to do. Maybe at some point AI gets to a place where that becomes a thing and I'm, equally as talented as them. But it's like, I come from football. If I'm the quarterback, I'm not trying to block somebody on the line of scrimmage and be with all the big guys. Like, those guys would crush me. I'm supposed to stay in my lane, play my position, and play it well. And we have a team of other people that play their positions, but being curious and asking them questions, and that's huge.
And if
It's
you guys
huge.
see any janky things on the website, that's gonna be Kevin coding.
I love it.
I think, yeah, it's so true. And it's something that, yeah, just like asking questions and also, yeah, getting in with that. I want to open up for questions because now we have around 12 minutes and I'm notorious for running so over. So we're gonna work on being timely. I will stay on later, like, for a little bit afterwards. People can do that, but I'll yeah, respectful of Lizzie and Kevin's time. Um, Maddie asked a question that I think they had to pop off, but I think this is a really important question for everyone. And it's, I think, the foundational thing that every person needs to know is why you seek coaching. Who is a good coach as opposed to other practitioners to work with during inflection points? And how do you legitimize the craft considering how saturated the field is? And how do you find your person? I'm going to pop it again in the chat. This was for Lizzie. I'm just going to pop it in so you can read it as well. But I think, yeah, everyone needs to know this. And I know myself, I've gone through so many awful encounters or people just not fit for me. And it is a bit like dating. Got to kiss some frogs before you find your person.
Well, that is right. That's part of the answer. That's part of how do you find the right person. Um, there are so many things that are coming up for me. Number one is you need to feel like you can be so brutally honest with this person. This needs to be someone who you feel like that you can be open with, someone who I would encourage, especially when you're doing something new, someone who can you can feel and be vulnerable with, but also who is going to challenge you and is going to help you move forward. Some people, one of the things I think, Kevin, you were talking about surrounding yourself on your team with people who know more than you and sort of domains of expertise. Very often, well, always, I am working with people who know so much more than I do about what it is they're building and how it is they're doing it and their idea and their vision, but I'm here to help them see themselves differently. So someone who can challenge the assumptions that you have about yourself, someone who you feel like you can be open with. And I think the more you can get really clear on this is what I need help with, the more a coach, I think the right coach for you will, the good coaches will essentially say, I don't think I'm the right person for this, but let me connect you to someone. So I think, yeah, those are just a couple thoughts, maybe a little bit scattered.
How do you know what you need help with? I think this is something kind of like that question of like sometimes you don't even know what questions to ask and maybe even what you need help with. So what are some of the things when working with a coach of how to kind of like start to open that communication line and even figure out like what you actually need help with?
Yeah, Kevin, did you have an answer? I'm happy to jump.
Yeah, one thing I'll just say is how about just saying that? Hey, I'm brand new. I think because I see this all the time. I'm like a founder meets with me, they're like, hey, I need to like fix my pitch deck. Right? They think that that was maybe the first problem. And then after you ask a couple questions, you realize, hey, there's this other thing. Maybe like talking to a couple customers first. Here's how I would structure some customer interviews just so you can gauge interest before we even start thinking about pitch decks and raising money. Let's like actually talk to some customers, right? But just being straight up, hey, I'm brand new at this. I think I'm struggling with X. You've been in my shoes before. Like, I'm open to listening to any sort of feedback that you have. If there's other things that I'm missing, I'm open to it. I want to learn. I'm not here to be right. I'm here to get it right. Just coming with this sort of mentality and attitude will allow, if it's the right coach, to sort of spot blind spots that you don't see.
What's the difference between a coach, a mentor, and an advisor?
That you were like, I was like right about to jump in
Brain
on
cells,
that.
brain cells
I
are
love it.
it's that West Coast girls. We're on it.
Yeah,
We're on
yeah,
it.
I love it. So, Hubble to me is just best in class advisor mentors who have been there, done that, right? Advisors are people who have been there, who can say, these are ways to do things. These are lessons that I've learned. Let me help you work through this from like a strategy perspective and a planning perspective, right? A mentor, similarly, we have mentors in our lives who also have been there and can provide us guidance and support, and then also connect us with other people who can support us. A coach doesn't necessarily need to have done what it is you're doing. However, they are here to help you see yourself differently, to help you approach problems from a different angle, to help you identify the support that you actually need, and then to help you find the resources that can support you through that. Coaches tend to be really good around like emotional blocks or mental blocks that we have and unblocking those things. And so I think in an ideal world, you have a coach, a team of advisors, a mentor, peers. You really build an entire support system around you.
I love this. I want to share a quick story as well, because I think with the coaching side, for people who don't know, I played elite tennis in the US. I was on the US tennis team growing up. And one of my best coaches, hands down, like I owe him so much, was awful at tennis. Like
Mhm.
he was a larger gentleman, a little bit older, never really like made it to the top. He was just a good club player, but his eye for technique, for like situational awareness, for everything was spot on versus one of the coaches that I had who was like top in the nation, top in the world, played professional tennis, one of the worst coaches I've ever had. Like still in therapy from some of the stuff that he like ingrained in me. And it was so interesting going from that to then to Russ, who this guy with other coach was like, loose wrist. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And then Russ would be like, oh, your left hip is not rotating through the shot. Rotate that hip, the wrist will unlock, and boom, problem solved. And I think it's so cool where I think right now, yes, sometimes you do need someone who has walked the path, but in some instances, it's someone who can communicate the path and showcase what it is that you need to actually get there. So there's a lot of nuance to it, but I wanted to share that story because, yeah, for me, like he was the best person, and I honestly treasure those moments. I want to
Hey,
open it up. Yeah, go for it.
I was literally going to do the same thing. Any founders out there that genuinely have been sitting with something right now, you've been watching this, you've been
Raise your
like,
hand,
I
come
want to
off
ask,
mute.
just ask it. Don't be afraid. And if you're afraid, this is going to be the first day that we're not going to be afraid anymore. It's a beautiful thing.
I love it. Or we will be afraid and we'll say it anyway.
But we're still
Mm-hmm.
going to do it. We're going to
Haley,
overcome.
go for it.
Hi,
Okay.
Haley.
Oh, geez. As I say that, I knock over my water. Good sign, bad sign, I don't know.
It's water.
Um, Here's to, yeah, going for it. But hi, sorry, I joined a few minutes late. I was actually like coming over from another call, but I'm in very, very, very early stage of a product idea. But I really resonated with the football QB analogy, even though not super familiar with the game. But two questions. One, I think in early stages, obviously constrained by resources, you tend to have to and also want to like wear all the hats and do all the things for anyone or for like the whole company getting things started, getting things going. I've identified probably like the places to start delegating and giving resources, obviously, is the areas where I'm the weakest. So I actually have more of like a technical background. So in things like legal, and just other like product oriented things. So my question there is like, how to identify where to start delegating? And then my second question in the same line is, when you do step into that more like QB, like leader role, I definitely struggle with the imposter syndrome a little bit, especially being new to this whole realm of, yeah, like how do I maybe push past, okay, I am the leader now. I'm gonna be the making the decisions and, just, yeah, tips or any advice to like get past some imposter syndrome when you are starting to like be a leader, make the decisions, all that.
Maybe I'll answer that last question and then I can turn over to Lizzie. Maybe you want to answer that first question?
Sure.
Maybe.
Sure. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think one thing, like when you get it, do you have a team right now?
No, it's just me.
So
Very early stages.
eventually you're gonna have a team, right? And here's the beautiful thing about this team: like you're gonna be the CEO and the founder, most likely, right? And is that gonna be your first time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. So like the first person you hire, I'll just probably guarantee you right now, most likely, whatever role that is, they're employee number one or they're a co-founder. They most likely will have never been in that role also. Right. And then you're going to hire your founding engineers, like your first couple of people at some point. It's the first time that this person is ever a first engineer at a company of all time. And especially because this company's never existed and it's never existed in 2026. Right. So the beauty of all of this is in this team meeting, what an awesome like first kickoff just to look everyone in the eye and say, guys and girls, like this is the first time that we've all been in these roles, right? Like we're going to learn together. We're going to push each other. I'm going to help set the vision. We're all going to have input, but we're going to do this together. Like this sort of dialogue, but just calling it out, but
Yeah.
the reality is all these other people that are eventually going to join your team, I almost promise you it's the first time for that person in that role at that stage also, right? So you're not going to be alone, but just being transparent about it. On the delegation piece, like when you're thinking about co-founders, and then I'll pass it over to Lizzie, I strongly recommend against just bringing on a co-founder or an early employee just because they have a skill set that you don't have. A lot of
Okay.
a lot of non-technical people literally just like hire a CTO because he can code or she can code and I can't. This early team, straight up, you want to literally be like, I like talking to this person. Like, I like getting a drink with them or a meal with them, or I enjoy their perspectives on life. I like the way they think. They sort of can challenge me, but the more I talk to them, the more I just want to keep talking to them. Right. That is so much more important than, oh, this person can write code. There's a million people in the world that can write code. Right. Those
I
are
got
not
that covered.
yeah, and you can too, right? But somebody on the selling side or the marketing side or the
Yeah.
front facing side, like there's a million people that sell stuff. If you're going to be stuck with this person, you're going to be married to this person or these people for a long time.
Hmm.
High on the, I respect their values. I trust them. I enjoy talking to them. The more I talk to them, I want to keep talking to them. Not, oh, they have different skills than what I bring to the table. So I would just keep this in the back of your mind as you eventually start to grow your team out.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I feel like what goes, I'm just like, as you're saying that, I'm thinking like, if you like spending time with them, if you, it's like you trust them too, obviously too. That's probably where my holdup is with the delegating too. It's because it's like it's your baby, so you like have to like trust it in someone else's hands.
The one
So,
more thing on this topic, because I think this is super important. Okay, if you're by yourself, we want to prove your product and get as much traction as possible, whatever form that looks like, whether that's actual users or revenue, a wait list, a big following on a page, like something. And we can talk offline about this, but the reason that this is important, you want to push your company as far as you possibly can by yourself because when you're then going to start hiring people and attracting other people, you've already done a lot of the legwork. So the odds are you're probably going to attract someone a little higher quality than if you're just sitting in your grandma's basement, like, hey, I have this idea.
hmm
I'm looking for a co.
hmm
That is
Yes.
Yeah, that's,
that is going to
yeah,
attract
that's,
someone lower caliber than I've done 200 interviews with potential customers. I have worked with a designer and we have the first mock-ups of what the screens could look like. Here's all the dialogue we've had with customers. Here's what they're saying are the pain points and the pains. Here's a couple of ideas of solutions on how we could be better than what's out there. Like when you come with this all prepared to somebody, they're like, dang, this person's crazy resourceful. They've thought this out. And the odds that that person would want to join you are going to dramatically increase.
Yes. And the early people that you add to your team, well, frankly, regardless of how big your team gets to be, every single person that joins will shape your vision in some way, will shape how your vision comes to life. And so really noticing that when you're hiring people, like I want this person to shape my vision because
hmm
I want them to be a part of it. I think that's definitely important as well. I think in terms of hires, one way to think about it as well in the early days, in addition to all that's been shared, or notice the things you're doing so much mental gymnastics around that are just like, this is taking up all of my brain space. And I
hmm
know that I'm a person who actually would have so much energy if I had someone else to take sort of this piece of my brain space. The things that you constantly find yourself sort of stuck on, I think that's a way to notice that as well. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, wow. Incredible advice. Thank you so much, both of you.
Should we do
Yeah.
one more?
One more.
Paul.
Paul.
He's either a huge Knicks fan or it's his last name or both. And Paul, you're on mute right now. If you're,
Oh yeah, you're on mute with my favorite city in the background.
hey,
I
Paul,
think
you're
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 still on
you're,
mute.
you're still on mute in the bottom left hand corner where you see that little audio button. Go ahead and click that. Nice.
Am I off
Uh,
now? Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
yeah.
First of all, I'm the guy, Kevin. I joined the last call, but like half an hour late. And I was really moved and touched by everything that was said during the call. I've been a founder now and you triggered me because you said the 5 year mark, and we've gone through a pivot in the last 6 months. What had the proudest moment of my founder career so far in April of this year, we demonstrated our Maestro travel technologies. We were a travel technology, mid-office process automation, AI tool, and we demonstrated our POC to a gang at a corporate travel conference in April. It was the chilling moment of my career so far. So I went through the crap. I'm still in the crap that you talked about, but I'm coming out the other side. I've been nominated to participate in a pitch event at the Global Business Travel Association USA conference in Chicago on August the 2nd. I'm at that point where we are refining message, and I don't even know how to start working with you guys, but based on that last call and this one, there's some synergies here, I think. I love what you said, Lizzie, about that transitions that you have to continue to go through. I'm a sober alcoholic of 28 years. I've been through a lot of stuff, and the Maestro vision that I have and my startup is a big piece of my. I'm 66 years old and thinking I finally figure out what I want to be when I grow up. I'm here. I am absorbing. I'm a sponge. I have attracted 8 leadership team members into my world in the last 6 months. Again, part of that transition, Kevin, that you were talking about. These people are way smarter than I am, but we're building our dev team. We're building our. I've got a chief product officer. I've got a chief strategy officer. I can't tell. Anyways, a lot of this has transpired since the last call that I attended with you, and I'm dying to. I'm still self-funding this. Like it's been a long run, and I'm in the last stages of my need to get funded. Anyways, that's my story.
I love that, Paul. That was incredible. You should be proud of yourself sticking in the game that long. And I just say hell yeah to that. Like that fires me up. That's amazing. I actually posted a video on Saturday on LinkedIn about how to structure a fundraise. Did anybody see this?
I think I saved it, Kevin. It's been a time thing. I haven't listened.
Yeah, so it's like a 6 minute. Yeah, it's like a 6 minute long video on all about. Here's exactly what I would do to structure a pre-seed fundraise.
Yeah,
I would watch that.
Okay.
If you still want assistance or help, you can always book me on Hubble. But that video is just literally going to lay out. This is like high level, exactly what to do. But I'm always available. Lizzie's available. We have tons of actual investors on our platform.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, because we're right in that. I'm
angels. And I always tell people all the time, go ahead and try the warm introduction thing. Do that. Send out cool emails. Amazing. And also book some Hubble calls. Do everything. Talk to as many potential investors as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
awesome.
Watch that video and then
we'll connect for sure. Okay.
Cool. Congrats, Paul.
Congrats, Paul.
You guys hit me.
Let's
go. Let's go, Maestro, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I want to be fired. I want some emojis for Paul right now, guys.
This is, and the New York Knicks won the NBA championship.
And Kevin, I was in grade 10 when the Knicks won the last pennant, and I was a huge basketball fan. My wife said to me 10 days ago, Paul, do you know the Knicks are in the finals? I went, pardon me? Like, I had no idea. So I was glued to the television for all the rest of the games.
And for those that don't know, the New York Knicks are actually the New York Knickerbockers. So
Exactamundo.
All Knickerbocker. This is what
it was my nickname in high school because it was actually my nickname in high school, Kevin.
Oh, I love it.
That's crazy.
Anyways, you guys are awesome.
I'll shoot you a message as well with some people to talk to. I kind of want to reiterate, like, I think as a founder, especially when you're raising, it's so easy to be like, I don't know what to do. This is what Hubble is made for, of like being able to not burn investor calls, right? When you go on an investor call, you want to feel prepared. You want to feel like you are ready on your A game. And like, this is a way to talk to people like Bettina, who has invested in so many different companies. She's an advisor for so many companies. She's seen so many different decks, and to be able to tell you yes, no. and like here's what to, here's what to change, here's what to keep, here's how to update, here's what to update, and not burn those relationships, but instead like foster those relationships. Like that is what this platform is for, is a way to build and foster relationships without one, burning yourself out, burning out the experts, and then also burning your time. And like we have some amazing people. Shoot me a message
Awesome.
as well. And like you are on it. It's the year of the horse, year of the fire horse.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
And,
We do
and
one more question.
awesome.
Should we do one more question?
Let's do it.
I got 3 more minutes.
Okay, we
Lizzie.
have 3 minutes. So
Great. Okay, we'll go with that.
okay, Prosperson, you are going to come on, give us like a 1-minute little spiel, and then we're going to want to have enough time for answering your questions.
My name is Prosperson. I'm a founder of Prosperity Agusal. We are a phytosanitary platform. We want to grow across Africa, but we started here. And this year I have a meeting with a VC committee for our research round. I feel a bit stuck because it's my first time. I'm not used to talk about VC committee about fundraising. We start fundraising 3 months ago. We are seeking investors who can support our growth stage. Reason for us call you for this meeting. Just assist how to see about it.
Prosperson, I think honestly, if you're gonna spend 6 minutes today, I want you to watch that video that I popped in the chat again. Do you see it in the chat?
Yes.
I want you to watch this. It's only 6 minutes, and send me a connection on LinkedIn, but watch that. And this is literally going to outline exactly how to run a pre-seed fundraise and how to be successful doing it.
Okay, thank you. Send you.
Because it's a way better answer. It's a way better answer than I can give you right in this moment. Just trust me.
Yeah. And then you can watch it 10 times.
Watch it again. I've watched it like 3 times already. It's so good. There's all these little nuggets that you take out of it. And it's just like, it's relationships. I think people think fundraising is a numbers game, but I think now more than ever, it's a relationship game, and it's a human game. It's who you connect with and who you actually like, for those investors, who they want to really back. And there's always going to be, like other stuff going on, but yeah, watch the video for everyone. I want everyone to watch the video and then either DM Kevin or I, or even Kat, and tell us your biggest takeaway and how you are actioning. Like the thing I want to leave everyone with is action. You can come here and spend an hour and 11 minutes with us, but if you don't take action, like you'll be here again in the same call next month or next week, because we're doing more calls in the same place, and we want you guys to take so much action and just have a bias towards action. And just like you can join me. I'm doing a Fuck It Friday of doing one scary thing on Fridays, of like sending 30 minutes time blocked of just sending like the one scary DM or the one email or the one message that I just have been putting off. And I'm like posting the piece of content that it's been in your drafts forever. And you're like, ooh. So do that. And then DM me, connect with me, and connect with Kevin, connect with Kat, connect with Lizzie. I popped both of their links in the chat to book time with. Book 15 minutes, and honestly, it will change your life. I promise you.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure, but pressure. No, it will change your perspective. If anything, I'm fired up, and I'm ready to go.
I love it. You're great at this, Sasha.
I will stay on for a few more minutes. I have another 15 minutes. Lizzie and Kevin, thank you so much for being here with us. Everyone, have you all connected with them on LinkedIn? Shoot them a message. I love hearing people's takeaways. So when you connect with us and when you message, please tell us like your top like 1 or 2 takeaways. I think 1, it helps you kind of really take it in. And 2, it also honestly helps us and, adds a little pep in our step, knowing that what we are saying and what we're doing actually is leaving an impact. So thank you. I will stay on for another minute or another like 10 minutes or so. But thank you guys.
So good to see
Lizzie, you are incredible. Lizzie, I
Awesome.
just want your brain.
I agree with the writing down your takeaways. It makes it real and
Yeah.
tangible.
Mhm.
So impactful. Write it on a piece of paper too. All
Write it
right.
on your mirror, write it on your
Yeah.
phone, right here.
Bye.
I'll stay
Bye.
on for anyone else who wants to stay on for another five or so minutes. But thank you guys. You're welcome to come
Thanks,
off
Sasha.
mute.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Paul. Connect and let's hype.
Yeah,
We're gonna hype you up.
absolutely. Yeah, awesome.
Well, friends, and then there were a few of us. You're welcome to come off mute, ask another question. I have another like 5 minutes. I want to be as useful as I can for you guys. Or we can just stare at each other in silence. That works too. Like, I'm looking at you, babe.
The, I think this was a great session. I actually enjoy spending time over here. So thank you for doing what you guys are doing. Especially, I mean, the conversations are usually honest, straight from heart, and there's no, what do you call, marketing or gimmicky thing happening. So I love that. So uh, yeah,
We
just wanted to
appreciate
say
you.
those.
Aw, you're the
Second thing I
best.
wanted to share, I did not mention. I think I had mentioned you earlier, but definitely a shout out to your design team. The Hubble app and the website is actually really good and thought through. So it did cross my mind, and I didn't want to share. I did want to share that.
Oh, I will. I'll make sure that they watch at this time in the recording and be like, guys, they are amazing. Our engineers work super hard, and we have some amazing updates coming in. Like, you guys will be the first to hear about this right now. So we have a chat feature coming out where you'll be able to like kind of chat with the experts directly. We are launching a what's it called? An AI companion. When you go on the website, we know it's a little overwhelming with the different people and kind of trying to find the right person. So you'll be able to type in what you're looking for, who you're looking for, where you're at, and it'll start to match you. And actually will take some of that effort kind of out of it. What else do we have coming up? We have lots of different calls. I'm in the process of creating some boot camps for you guys. I think I personally have gone through so many accelerators as a founder that I found it's a waste of time and a waste of equity and like a waste of money. And I was like, like if we're gonna put something together, I want it to be so laser focused. And instead of doing go to market sales, I don't know, fundraising, like learning how to scratch your back, like all these things all at once. What we're going to do is just do 4 weeks targeted on one particular topic with different experts. You're going to have homework. We're going to be checking in on you. We're going to be making sure that you're doing it. It's like action, 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 action. So if you want to like kind of be a part of it and also help me build it out, because I want to make sure that it's going to be useful, do message me. I want to make like a little group chat with kind of 10 people to really build this out and make it as impactful as possible around topics like what Kevin said, fundraising, of how do you actually build out a fundraising from 0 to 1 that is not going to have you waste time, but you're going to be like, 10 messages like a day. How are you going to do it? We're going to be looking at your decks with you, building out your strategies with you, connecting you with investors that you need to be connected with. Blah, blah, blah. Same thing with like go to market and getting your first 10 customers. Again, talking to customers. How do you actually build out? I think Kevin mentioned like customer feedbacks and interviews. How do you actually interview people correctly instead of like, oh, do you like my product? I love how YC says build something people want, but build something people will pay for.
Totally.
Because like, so I want a lot of things, right? I love this hat. Would I buy this hat? No. Right? And so it's like building stuff people want and will pay for. What other ones? And then personal branding, right? I'm a big believer in building in public. That's how Hubble even started. That's how I came into Hubble, was always building in public and building a personal brand in a way that feels good for you. My personality is different than your personality. And I know we've talked about this, right? And so it's like your posts are gonna be so much different and they're killing it, by the way.
Thank you.
I've been seeing you. And it's building one that feels authentic, that again gets noticed by the right people to make a lot of what was it? Take the work out of having to reach out to people, but kind of getting those inbounds coming in. So that's what's in the works. TBD on like when it's gonna happen. Most likely later in the year, because right now it's summer and like no one has time for that. So I'm thinking like a back to school thing and kind of really launching like a back to founder school sort of series of workshops. We'll be potentially integrating and implementing a few paid workshops that are smaller and very targeted with an expert to really get that one-on-one kind of time with less me talking, more you guys talking. So those are going to be coming up. We have the first one, I think next week with Timo, actually our co-founder, all around, what is it? Building as a non-technical founder. And we're doing a series kind of around that, and also how to communicate in a more technical way if you are a non-technical person like myself. So we have a few paid workshops coming up, pitch decks, things like that with Kevin. So stay tuned. We're in a big build phase.
Hi, Sasha. Hi, everyone. Sasha, one quick question. How can we get aware of like when those calls happen? And regarding the bootcamp, how can we get notified about it? And is there any onboarding process?
Are you guys subscribed to our Hubble Luma link account?
I got an email yesterday, like 2 days ago, but I don't get often. Like it's been a couple of months since I got one.
Let me put in the Luma link for all of you guys to subscribe to hear when we have these. This will be in the email as well, so stay tuned for the email. And then we have launched a Slack channel. I think, as I mentioned, I meant to put this in earlier, but I forgot. Let me get you guys the link for this. Share link. So join our, sometimes we're trying to figure out how to do this whole email thing. Right now, I think I invited a ton of people from previous calls into this one. But yeah, so join our Slack. Follow us on LinkedIn. Make sure you're on our email list. We're going to be finding ways to make it a bit easier to kind of get notified. I think we're across different channels. Follow us on X as well. I'm going to start posting a lot more on there. And same thing, my X handle is just my name. It's just one word, Sasha K-word. And then ours is, and then it's Hubble, I think social is the other one. These are our two X accounts. We'll start putting a lot of kind of the events coming up there. Yeah. And then with the boot camps, I'm gonna have more information, I think, at the end of this month around like how I want to structure at least the first one. And then may pull together a group of you guys to kind of like go back and forth on. And then we will potentially launch it closer to September.
Cool. Yeah, I'd love to contribute. If I can support in any way, I'm more than happy to do it.
Appreciate
I'm
you.
a founder. I can share a lot of my experience. One point is that I'm looking forward to connecting with you, especially that you're focused on community, because our early users, they call us Reddit for shopping. And I would love to deep dive with you on how to build a community for our beauty and wellness app.
100%. Let me pop in my link. Anand, he's here. We've been going back and he's been I've been supporting him through kind of the same thing. So let me just like pop mine in here as well. I actually need to update my thing. Cool. For anyone who wants to talk more about community or anything like that, this is my shit. So yeah, grab some time with me on Hubble, and I'm so happy to just deep dive. I've been doing that with Anand, and it's been so much fun on like how to do that and then translate that to your own personal brand and how to kind of get people along for the journey. And community is the thing right now, guys. We've been talking about this for about 10 years, and now it's finally having its moment.
Happening.
It's finally having its moment.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll book a call with you and can do a deep dive into what we're
Do it.
building. Cool. Thanks.
Let's do it. I'm so excited. Anyone else have any questions? No? Okay. Let's stare lovingly at you guys. Ooh, do I hear something?
Me, please, I have one question. Can you share me the same link that because I didn't go through in his LinkedIn page to watch the
Yeah,
video
the
that he
video
was
is
talking.
in the chat. Let me send it to you right now. Here it is. It is right here. And we will also put it in the email going out. So you guys will have that. We'll have that. But here's the video that he was talking about.
Okay. Already, okay, good. I already see it. You have a LinkedIn page too. I can to
Yeah,
question mark.
my LinkedIn is this. Let me find it in this chat. Here it is. Here's my LinkedIn. It's just easy peasy right there. If anyone has any questions, please, yeah, feel free to DM me. I will say I'm a bit slow on DM sometimes. I'm working on it, finding some new things that help me with that. But yeah, so feel free to bump it if I don't respond right away. I'm never offended, never feel like that. I have around 8,000 connection requests as well, so I need to go through those. So if you do connect with me, please make a note that this is where you met me, so I know as well. But I'm super grateful for you guys spending some extra time with me. Shoot me a message, and the recording will be sent out within around 24 hours. You'll be getting that tomorrow. Perfect. Okay. Thank you guys again. I always love these and I feel so energized after. So sending you guys lots of love. And if you're in London, oh, you're fine. I'll know it's you, but sending you guys so much love and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.